To be down 17. Now, listen, the first game of the season, you're going to have, your struggles and what have you. And to be down in a 17-0 hole and to come back the way that they did with that bomb to Deshaun Jackson and then another bomb to Deshaun Jackson and to spread the ball all over the field the way that Carson Wentz did, for Carson Wentz himself to do it as well, I thought was incredibly encouraging. And so when you have Carson Wentz out there reminding you that he is an MVP candidate when healthy, and then you add the deep threat that is Deshaun Jackson pretty much coming home because, by the way, he should have never had to leave Philadelphia. That was a Chip Kelly fiasco. And by the way, how you doing at UCLA, Chip Kelly? How's everything going? Okay.
Because Deshaun's balling.
Good luck with you, all right? But in the end, what it comes down to is that, that with Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz and what have you, we can sit up there and talk about the Dallas Cowboys all we want to, and they are formidable. Please make no mistake about that. But the Eagles are no joke. And when you saw them come back the way that they did, we have to admire the fact, when we looked at Kansas City last year, what were the things that we were raving about? Of course, Patrick Mahomes is that guy. But what we also noticed is that in the blink of an eye, they could explode. When we looked at Miami, when they had LeBron and D-Wade, in the blink of an eye, they could explode. When we looked at the Golden State Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant and the crew, and Damian Lillard talked about what happened, and he's like, man, we beat up. They were up 17, 18 points in all 4 games. Mm-hmm. And he said, before we blink, bow, the lead was gone. This is what the Eagles showed me they are capable of. I like that because I think that's what it's going to take the NFC.
I respect that point of view because the Giants are nothing. The Giants have Saquon Barkley, and that's it. Yeah. And, they have some, NFL players on the roster.
Yeah,
but
Ingram and Shepard.
Yeah, those are. Yeah. Ingram is going to be a very good patch passing. Maybe he already is catch-passing tight end. And Shepard's a good route runner and all that stuff. But come on. All NFL teams have guys like that. The Giants are outside of Miami. They look like they have the worst roster in football. So I get it. However, it's not like Washington is loaded. And they were up 17. The Eagles were playing at home.
That's a good point.
Now, you look at this. Dak Prescott threw for 25 for 32, 405 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Carson Wentz, 25 for 39, 313 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We all know it was 4 touchdowns that he threw and 313 yards. We all know that. He threw it to Alshon Jeffrey. They trying to call it a lateral or a run play. Alshon Jeffrey is a wide receiver. We don't have no run plays for Alshon Jeffrey. Y'all know this. Of course, anybody that's against us is going to try to take that away from Carson, regardless. But we all know Alshon Jeffrey. We ain't got no running plays for Alshon. Stop playing with us, man. Keep it going, though.
Good point.
And Washington was up 17. The Eagles had to come back on them. Now, I get what you mean. It's impressive because you saw that ability to come back in an eye blink. And that late score by Washington made it look closer than it was. The Dallas Cowboys can't control who's on the schedule. What they can do is control the way they play. All facets of the game. They looked spectacular. Dak was perfect, at least according to his quarterback rating. Mm-hmm. They didn't even have to, as you mentioned, give the ball to Zeke. Amari Cooper was excellent. You have Callaway, guys with high upside potential, showing you the defense got after it. The linebackers did their thing. They got pressure on the quarterback without having to blitz. If you're just asking who was more impressive, I respect your argument, but the answer was the Dallas Cowboys.
I I hate to toot my own horn, but I thought the Dallas Cowboys definitely looked better between the two. Listen, I think most people, most people at the table would agree that the Philadelphia is a real trendy pick to go to the Super Bowl.
I like it more than the Cowboys.
Yeah. I actually picked Philadelphia to win the NFC East. So, but when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, first of all, they got a first-year play caller in Kellen Moore. No one had any expectation of what this offense was going to look like. Considering he was a former player just a couple years ago. Now he's calling plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Garrett relinquished his input into offense and let Kellen Moore do it. And without the running game that the Dallas Cowboys have been accustomed to having and controlling the clock, because that's really been their formula. Control the clock with the running game, defense stay fresh. But Dak Prescott looked unbelievable. He looked confident. He was spreading the ball around.
Yeah.
I mean, play action pass. A lot of the concepts that you were seeing from the Dallas Cowboys offense was like, well, where has that been? Why haven't you guys been running that for some time now?
Man, dude, you can't say, well, where has that been? Because they was playing against the Giants. They was playing against the Giants. They was playing against the Giants. Even next week in the game after that, they not playing. They playing the Skins, and they playing. I believe it's the Dolphins, which are nobody. Like, we were rusty on offense and defense coming into that game because, I mean, you could just see it. You could just see it. Once we warmed up on both sides of the balls, offense and defense, we shut them down on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. But these guys, they don't. They Dallas fans, man, more than anything. They Dallas fans. They favorite Dallas a little bit more. But it's all right, man. It's okay. It's okay. Let's keep it going.
So you got to give a lot of credit to, the new play calling Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott's like, every game that you don't pay me, it becomes that more expensive for the Dallas
think so?
Cowboys.
And Gallup and Cooper were fantastic.
Absolutely.
You think that's right? Like, I don't know. I know that there's this idea, you better pay him now or else. If you just reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott and you're about to reset it with Dak, in fact, my point of view at this point is you're buying Dak at the top of the market now. You're never going to have to pay more. Even if he goes on a tear like this the whole season, he ain't going to make any more money if he's already going to reset the market as is.
You don't think You don't think if he tears up this league this year, you don't think he'll make more than Wentz? Sign a bigger deal than Wentz?
I think they're going to give him a bigger deal anyway, is my point. And if they already plan on resetting the market with him, what difference does it make when you get that? I mean, it's a moot point. They're going to get it done soon. But if I were them at this point, I might wait. You're buying at the top of the market.
Keep
Well,
the team
no.
together.
I don't know if you wait, because I think the longer you wait, the more you're going to end up having to pay Dak. I think the sooner you pay Dak, the better off you be. That's just my personal opinion. I just think that that's what they should do. And not only that, you sort of get to a point where it's like, all right, you signed La'el Collins, you signed Jalen Smith, you signed Ezekiel Elliott, but your quarterback is the one left waiting.
Yeah.
Come on now. At some point in time, you got to step up. You got to take care of this young man. Having said all of that, we saw Dak Prescott throw for over 400 yards yesterday, and we're seeing him and expect to see him flinging the football more, because that's what the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, wants to do. That's supposed to be what differentiates him from his success, from his predecessor in Scott Linehan. But in the end, Ezekiel Elliott, as he gets his wheels under him, this brother's going to carry the ball a hell of a lot more than 13 times.
Correct.
In the case of the Philadelphia Eagles, what you saw is exactly what we expect.
Yep.
Carson Wentz is going to have to fling that football in order to get it done. And the only question is, can you keep him upright?
That's it.
If you can keep him upright and healthy, we all expect the Eagles to have something
Well,
to say
their backup
about
and
supremacy
stay
in the
upright,
NFC.
former back right, and Nick Foles upright. Excuse me.
And, man, you know what, Stephen A., you absolutely right. We keep them up, these dudes in trouble. They don't understand what we've been trying to tell them. I seen Boys for Life put a video out earlier and said, Redskins, you couldn't stop Deshaun Jackson. We all knew that was coming. Duh, we all been telling y'all it was coming. It's certain things that, like, you know it's coming in life, but it's just nothing you can really do about it. You got to go through it. You know what I'm saying? So when you play the Eagles, and that goes for any team, not just the Dallas Cowboys, when you play the Philadelphia Eagles. No, hold on, buddy. When you play the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to go through Carson Wentz and Deshaun Jackson.
Daddy,
Point blank, period. That's just the way it goes. And that's just what it's going to be. That is the regimen. Now, that's the new norm. Let's get it. Let's say it like Dougie People said. That's the new norm for the team this year. When you come to Philly, you got to go through D-Jax and Carson. No matter how you try to play it. Because if you try to play it any other way, you got to go through Carson Wentz and the rest of the wide receivers. Not only them, Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert as well. Just believe me, man. But yeah, man, that's all I got to really say about this situation, man. Because I just want y'all to hear that, and then I want to know some feedback. So y'all watched it. Now the real Eagle fans, let me hear some feedback on this, man. This your boy DK Drama, Bird Gang Sports.
BAGLESPO